Welcome, everyone. It's so glad to be here. We are trying something new this month and hope to be able to do this for you every month. This is all about taking away some STEM kits. And this particular month, we're actually going to talk about owls and how you're going to dissect some of what they have eaten, which I know sounds kind of gross, but it really isn't. It's kind of a fun thing to do. So I'm excited about it. I hope you are as well. I wanted to very quickly tell you some of the things that you're going to find in your kit. First of all, you will find a coloring page of an owl. This gives you a good depiction of what an owl looks like. To me, that sort of looks like a snow owl. It could be, or a barn owl. The next thing you're going to find in your kit is something that's called Take and Make STEM Kit. It talks a little bit about the owl pellets and information about that. Next, I've actually got a few other documents, and what I might do for you is kind of put them so that they're back to back rather than so many separate ones. But there is a vole skeleton. Now, a vole is pretty much like a mole, and they're in the ground, very tiny, and that's one of the things the owl loves to eat. So you will have the skeleton information about that. You're going to actually have a bone ID chart that will kind of show you as you pull apart the pellet that we're going to talk about that you might be able to identify what those bones are from. Also, you will find a sheet that talks about the two different skeletons, and these are the skeletons actually of the vole. And then lastly, the other paper that you will find in there is an identification. So in other words, there's a whole list of different animals that the owl will eat, and it shows the skull, and it's possible that in your pellet you're going to find a skull, and you could identify it and use this form to do that. Lots of information there. I also just wanted to kind of give you a little bit of information about owls in general. I wanted to show you this particular poster, and hopefully you can see it. It's the food web of a barn owl. And these are all the different animals that the barn owl will eat. Okay, so that's a very interesting, because he'll eat frogs and salamanders and earthworms. So it doesn't even just have to be mammals. He eats other things as well, and he loves crane flies. In addition, now again, these are not going to be in your kit, but I wanted to show these to you. And this is the owl pellet bone ID, similar to the form that you're getting, that you're going to be taking home. And this again talks about the birds, moles, rodents, shrews that an owl will eat, and these are the different bones that have to do with it. Very interesting information. Owls have been around for 55 million years. Long, long time. And actually there were cave paintings of owls as well. They are called raptors, birds of prey, which you can see by all the different animals that they're eating. They have very long, sharp talons, as well as their beak also has a point. And that's what they use to hunt. And they are on every continent in the they are on every continent in the world except Antarctica. So they are everywhere. There's 160 to 175 different species of owls as well. They have great peripheral vision. And for those of you that don't know what a peripheral vision is, it means they could see on either side. Now you would think their eyes are what moves. Their eyes do not move. It's their whole head that actually moves so that they can see what's on either side of them. They're nocturnal, which means they're out in the evening, at night, when it's dark, and that's when they hunt the best. Before we get to the pellet, I just wanted to mention to you, they take whatever they have hunted and swallow it whole. Yes, feathers, fur, bones, they swallow it. And before they're completely swallowed it, they're ingesting it in their mouth. And what they've done is actually they don't chew it at all. And then they spit out in something in the shape of what we're calling a pellet, all the fur and the feathers. And that's what you're going to be digesting. So it's stuff that they have can't chew, they can't swallow it, that portion whole, and that's what they spill out as a pellet type form. And it looks like a sausage. It looks like a little sausage. They're very helpful to farmers. They eat more mice in a whole season than even the cats do. They claim it's somewhere around 1,300 mice yearly they will eat. The food is very scarce for them, which is what I found to be very interesting, because they actually will stuff mice in trees, in the holes in the trees or an old woodpecker's hole, and they put them in there until they want to eat them. So that's another interesting thing about it. We need to be very mindful with all the land being developed that land management really needs to be able to keep certain areas open for the owls. Now I know this is the best part for everyone. So I'm going to show you a little bit. These are the other things you're going to find in your kit. You're going to find a little container like this. You're going to find the top for it. So after you take out the feathers and so forth, you'll be able to close it up and keep it if you want. You'll find a pair of tongs. And you will find a pick. Now, if by chance you lose the pick, just take a toothpick, because you can use a toothpick as well. And then what I'm going to do is I just wanted to make sure that as I'm doing this, that I'm also keeping that vole skeleton, and I'm keeping this chart, okay, available so that I can see as I'm dissecting this what I'm actually finding, okay? So we're going to unwrap it, and as you can see, it's black. It's kind of gross looking, but that's okay. Remember, they spit this out whole. So what I'm going to do is pretty much take it with the tongs, okay, and I'm going to hold it, and I'm going to start picking at it. And sometimes it takes a little while to get started. Best bet is to start on the sides because it seems to be softer. Now you have to look really, really closely because some of this stuff is really hidden. And I'll show you what I mean because I'm already seeing I have a bone here. And there's the bone. Okay, that's a pretty big piece of a bone. Okay, and I would say by looking at this bone and my chart, okay, that to me looks like a rib. Okay, that could be a rib. Now, hopefully I see lots of other things in this pellet. And again, take your time, okay, because I think what you're going to find that you can't figure out what it is initially is you're going to find that you've even got feathers. Now, I have another bone there, see? Now, think about this. This is kind of cool, okay? Because what's happened is this particular owl has eaten, and what we could eventually do, hopefully, is maybe if we get a skull in your pellet, take a look and see what that skull is from. Okay, so I'm getting something else out here, which is a really tiny little bone. I'm not sure if you could see it, but it's V-shaped. And I want to make sure that I'm checking it out to see. I'm going to see if I can pull in some feathers. Oh, wow, this is a big bone. And this one's got a weird shape to it. Now see, that actually has a hole in the middle of it, right there. Okay, I don't know if you can see it or not. So I'm going to look at my chart over here, and that could very well be part of the pelvis. Again, keep your little bone ID chart available. Because of that hole in the middle, I'm looking at it, and it looks pretty much like the pelvis bone. Now, I'm not going to run through all of these. I've just kind of given you some ideas what you might find. You're going to find a lot of things in here. But again, as you can see, it's likely to move very, very easily, pop out of your hands. So what I did was I put a piece of paper, color paper. Try not to put a dark color paper, because if you put a dark color paper, you may not see the bones, you may not see the feathers. I can almost guarantee at some point, if you go through all of this black stuff, you're going to come across some feathers. And you're going to come across really thin, tiny little bones like that. So I'm going to leave it at that. Put all your little bones, put all your little feathers, everything you find, and you know, put them in the container. I'm seeing at least 40, I would say probably a good 40, because everywhere I'm looking, I'm seeing little bones. So this owl must have been pretty hungry at the time. So it looks like he might have eaten a lot of different things. So very, very minuscule, thin little bones, too. So have fun with it. Please, if you have any questions or you want to show me what you've got, keep them in the container, send me a picture of it, and would love to hear from you, see what you think. And we'll be doing this again next month, and I have a feeling we may be working with fossils next month. So have fun. I'll talk to you soon. Take care. Bye.